First lecture of CSS Criminology by Nearpeer. We are going to start our course with the absolute basics of the subject, in which we talk about what criminology is. We focus on understanding the discipline, focusing on what areas the discipline covers and how do we actually define it in the exam. What is the scope of the subjects and which other disciplines does it overlap with. So in order to understand criminology in greater details, in order to understand the topics we have ahead in the syllabus, it is very important to understand what criminology is. So let's begin. So when we focus on defining the subject, we need to begin with the actual word. And the word criminology was first coined by Rafael Garofalo in 1885. Now the term is basically a combination. The word criminology is basically a combination of two different words. One word we have been hearing for a very long time, and it is involved in many other subjects as well, and that is the word logy. We have biology, we have sociology, psychology. So whenever we see this word, and most of us probably already know about it, logy basically is derived from the Greek word which means logia, and logia means study. So whenever you see the term logy at the end of any word, it basically means that you are talking about the study of something. So criminology is basically the study of something. And what is it the study of? It is the study of crimin. This part of the word crimin is basically derived from a Latin word crimen with an E. Now the Latin word crimen actually means accusation. So how is accusation related to crime? Basically a crime, how do we know that a crime has been committed? If someone has been accused of doing it. So that is how the word crimen, meaning accusation, actually led to the word crime, which in turn made up the word criminology. So in simpler words, in a very direct manner, we can say that criminology is the study of crime in society. All right. But one thing that I have noticed a lot of candidates make the mistake in the exam while attempting the paper is that they choose to write down and they choose to quote definitions from any place. And although you read a book, you see a definition, you highlight it and you write it down. So although that is perfectly fine, that definition actually does apply. When we are attempting a competitive exam, we need to make sure that the information we are giving it's from an authentic source. Like I mentioned in the introductory lecture, try quoting either books of dictionaries that are proper law dictionaries, or quote different criminologists. So these are some you have in front of you 3 different definitions which are absolutely right and which candidates do write in the exam. But let me go over why I would recommend someone not to write down definitions like this. So according to the Webster Dictionary, one very common thing that we see when we Google is the Webster Dictionary, and according to that, criminology is the scientific study of crimes and criminals. So scientific study of crime and criminals. It's absolutely right. It is. In criminology, we study scientifically what crime is, and we study about criminals. Another definition is a science which researches committed criminal acts. So वही बात होगी science. Not to write down definitions like this. So according to the Webster Dictionary, one very common thing that we see when we Google is the Webster Dictionary, and according to that, criminology is the scientific study of crimes and criminals. So scientific study of crime and criminals. It's absolutely right. It is. In criminology, we study scientifically what crime is, and we study about criminals. Another definition is a science which researches committed criminal acts. So वही बात होगी science, research, and criminal acts. And the third definition is a body of scientific knowledge about crime, and this is the same thing, scientific knowledge about crime. But what I would like to say is, please to improve the chances of you scoring high, go for learn 1 or 2 definitions that actually go into detail about the subject. Learn it word by word and apply that in the in your exam while attempting the paper. So instead of going for common googled definitions like this, I would like to mention over here one of the most common and most famous definitions of criminology, and that is by Edwin Sutherland. I will explain later who Edwin Sutherland is, because he is going to come again and again in this course. But first, let's read through the definition. Criminology is the body of knowledge regarding crime as a social phenomena. It includes within its scope the making of laws, the breaking of laws, and the reacting towards the breaking of laws. So what does this actually mean? इसका ये मतलब है that this definition by Edwin Sutherland is the most famous and the most common one as well. Why? Because it basically defines the whole scope of the subject within 2 sentences. And it tells us that it is a subject in which we study about crime. अब क्राइम को सदरलैंड ने किस तरह से प्रेजेंट किया? ही इज सेइंग इट इज अ सोशल फिनोमेना. सो रैंडमली किसी क्रिमिनल को, किसी क्राइम को आइसोलेशन में स्टडी किए बगैर स्टडी करके, दिस इज नॉट क्रिमिनोलॉजी. क्रिमिनोलॉजी इज अबाउट स्टडीइंग क्राइम, कीपिंग द सोसाइटी एंड कीपिंग द एनवायरनमेंट इन माइंड. तो आप क्राइम को क्रिमिनोलॉजी में आइसोलेशन में नहीं स्टडी कर सकते. ठीक है. So this is one point we get from this definition that was not mentioned in any other definition. The second thing is it includes within its scope the processes of making laws. Laws किस तरह से बनते हैं और ऐसे laws क्यों बनते हैं. ठीक है. और ऐसे लॉज जब बनते हैं तो उनका रिएक्शन क्या होता है? इज इट एक्चुअली एप्लीकेबल टू, डज इट एक्चुअली हेल्प टू स्टॉप और रिड्यूस क्राइम? द सेकेंड थिंग इज द ब्रेकिंग ऑफ लॉज. लॉज किस तरह से ब्रेक होते हैं एंड व्हाट इज द ब्रेकिंग ऑफ लॉ? दैट इज एक्चुअली अ क्राइम. एंड द रिएक्टिंग टूवर्ड्स द ब्रेकिंग ऑफ लॉ. तो जब एक लॉ ब्रेक होता है तो फिर हाउ डू पीपल रिएक्ट टूवर्ड्स दैट. ठीक है. सो ये जो दोनों चीजें हैं ना, ये क्रिमिनोलॉजी हमें बताता है कि एडविन सदरलैंड टेल्स अस इन दिस डेफिनेशन कि दिस ऑल ऑफ दीज डिफरेंट थिंग्स, ये सारा कुछ क्रिमिनोलॉजी में आता है. सो दैट इज व्हाई व्हेनेवर यू आर कोटिंग, व्हेनेवर यू आर डिफाइनिंग समथिंग, ट्राई टू गो फॉर अ डेफिनेशन लाइक दिस. हु इज एडविन सदरलैंड? Edwin Hardin Sutherland was an American sociologist. This is a very interesting fact, who is considered as one of the most influential criminologists of the 20th century. He was a sociologist of the symbolic interactionist school of thought and is best known for defining white-collar crime and differential association, a general theory of crime and delinquency. Basically, criminology is a very relatively new discipline, which is why it is very difficult to find people who are known as criminologists. Basically, होता क्या था कि at that time people did study crime, people did do research and present theories on them, but they were generally sociologists. So whenever you are looking for authentic sources and authentic material on criminology, if you cannot find someone who is termed as a proper criminologist, you can go for someone who was a sociologist and who specified his research in crime and deviance. क्योंकि आपको पता है sociology, अब तो criminology is a new discipline, a separate discipline. For hundreds of years it was studied within as a topic of sociology. So why is Edwin Sutherland so important? Is because in white collar crime, which is a topic of your syllabus, and differential association theory, ये इन दोनों पे इसने सबसे ज़्यादा काम किया. That is why he will be mentioned again and again, and he has some of the most reliable definitions and points and theories in criminology today. So yes, let's move ahead. Defining the subject. In comparison to the classical definition of Sutherland, a more updated definition would be, now this is my personal favorite definition. Why? Because Sutherland's definition, although it is very popular, but anything that is popular is also common. So try going for something a bit different as well. Mention that in your exam if you're asked to write about criminology, but also mention the following definition. Criminology is the integrated, multidisciplinary study of the causes, prediction and the control of crime. अब देखें इस definition में within the first like the first half of the definition you get so many points about criminology. You understand that it is integrated. ये दूसरे subjects के साथ join कर रहा है and you study it within other subjects as well. Multidisciplinary, it has many different disciplines related to it. Study of the causes of crime, क्राइम क्यों होता है, हाउ कैन वी प्रिडिक्ट ट्रेंड्स इन क्राइम, कहाँ क्राइम के होने के ज़्यादा चांसेस हैं, कहाँ कम चांसेस हैं, एंड द कंट्रोल ऑफ क्राइम, बिकॉज द अल्टीमेट एम ऑफ स्टडिंग क्रिमिनोलॉजी इज सो दैट वी कैन रिड्यूस क्राइम इन द सोसाइटी and other harmful behavior constituting a breach of societal norms. अब यहाँ पे ये चीज़ थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट आ जाती है because they have said कि ज़रूरी नहीं क्रिमिनोलॉजी में हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्राइम पढ़ें, we can also study those behaviors that are deviant. अब deviant क्या होता है? Anything जो society के norms, जो society के traditions या accepted behavior के against जाता है, anything like that जो कि proper बेशक law ना हो, उसको भी हम study करते हैं criminology में, and it is studied at a local, national or international level. तो इस definition में हमें basically we get a complete idea of what criminology is, what is its purpose, and what areas does it actually cover. So what are the three divisions of criminology? Up to understand the scope of criminology, we need to understand कि criminology की तीन branches कौन-कौन सी हैं. So the three branches of criminology are, number one, the sociology of law. Now this title basically speaks for itself. The sociology of law deals with the origins, nature, application and modification of criminal laws. Sociology of law में हम criminal law को पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन not just in isolation, not as a law itself, but how is that law made. Society को mind में रख के हम उस law को पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है, कि सोसाइटी के क्या सर्कमस्टांसेस थे, क्या बिलीव्स थी जिनकी वजह से ये लॉ बना, किस तरह ये लॉ अप्लाई हो रहा है, और इस लॉ के इफेक्ट्स क्या हैं. इज इट एक्चुअली डूइंग इट्स जॉब प्रॉपरली, डज इट नीड टू बी इम्प्रूव्ड, डज इट नीड टू बी मॉडिफाइड. सो बेसिकली द सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ लॉ इज अ स्टडी ऑफ लॉ बट नॉट इन आइसोलेशन. इट इज स्टडिंग लॉ कीपिंग द सोसाइटी इन माइंड. The second part of criminology, which is one of the most important parts, that is criminal etiology, and this deals with, it aims to explain the causes of criminal behavior. Criminal etiology is just about why crime happens. ऐसा क्या हो रहा है सोसाइटी में या इंसान के माइंड के अंदर या इंसान की जेनेटिक मेकअप के अंदर जिसकी वजह से उसके क्राइम कमिट करने के चांसेस ज़्यादा होते जा रहे हैं, ठीक है. इसमें हमारी सारी थ्योरीज आ जाती हैं, द थ्योरीज प्रेजेंटेड बाय डिफरेंट क्रिमिनोलॉजिस्ट इन ऑर्डर टू prove why crime is being caused in society. And the third part is penology. Penology क्या है? It is the apprehension and treatment of offenders and convicted criminals. Penology deals with the punishment side of criminology, कि जब हमें पता लग गया कि किसी ने एक क्राइम कर लिया and we have caught that person, we have arrested that person, and that person has been convicted, he has been proven guilty by law, by the court of law. What sort of punishment is needed to make him a better person? अप्रोच क्या आ रही है हमारी, हम अगर किसी को जेल में भेज रहे हैं तो उसके पीछे रीजन क्या है. इज इट टू सिंपली गेट हिम अवे फ्रॉम सोसाइटी, बाकी लोगों को बचाने के लिए, इज इट टू पनिश हिम, इज इट टू मेक हिम अ बेटर पर्सन, ठीक है. तो ये जो सारी चीजें हैं ना, ये सारा कुछ आ जाता है पेनोलॉजी में, इन विच वी स्टडी हाउ क्रिमिनल्स आर कॉट एंड हाउ दे आर पनिश्ड, उनको किस तरह की पनिशमेंट मिलती है और क्यों मिलती है. So thank you everyone for attending the first lecture, and now in the next lecture we will study introduction to criminology in a greater detail. We will go ahead and move to its scope as well as how it overlaps with other disciplines in the subject and what is the importance of criminology. हम अगर criminology पढ़ते हैं तो क्यों पढ़ते हैं, तो I hope you people join that lecture as well.